Hey YouTubers, this your boy Amari Points here, bringing you the latest movie review. So again, I'm doing something classic. So today I'm doing my latest movie review on DreamWorks animated movie Antz. So basically, this movie is about an ant named Z, played by Woody Allen, who basically just wants more out of his life, and he stumbles upon that when one day he meets Bala, who is the princess of their colony, at a bar, and they just hit it off. At first, well, she's at first she was just using him because she thought was the he was like the biggest loser at the bar. But then one sort of incident happens. They get thrown out of their anthill by accident because Z accidentally kidnaps her, and they as soon as they reach this place called Insectopia, their relationship starts to bloom and be able to and forms into love. But let me tell you, about this movie. It was somewhat okay. There was a little bit of swearing in this, but then again, this was practically like one of the first movies of DreamWorks Animation, because back then in 1998, they practically DreamWorks animated movies probably didn't really care about the swearing. Didn't really care about the swearing back then because they probably thought it was just a normal. They probably just labeled it as a adult cartoon movie, but again, it's still a good movie till this day. And till this day, it's still a good movie, and I enjoy watching it so much. But I do have a couple of flaws with it, such as the villain in this movie, General Mandible. He really wasn't that much of a good DreamWorks animated villain, because he really just seemed kind of bland. Out of all the DreamWorks animated villains, he was the most boring. Like I did understand his motives. I really did. Sorry. But he just seemed like that weak type of villain who really didn't click well with me and was kind of like someone really boring. And but all in all, the rest of the movie was still okay, but again, somewhat not okay. It needed some work, but I loved how like their romance, how Z and Princess Bala's romance kind of blossomed, and pretty much the main theme of this movie is just think for yourself. Don't let anybody else think for you, which is a good message in my opinion. Just think for yourself. Don't really do what other people tell you to do, in my opinion. But it's still a great DreamWorks animated movie. I highly recommend it to a lot of people who still love DreamWorks, and I have to say, after seeing this movie again and watching it a bunch of times, I really kind of didn't enjoy it. But there were some scenes in the movie I really did love. Like there was the dancing scene at the bar with Z and Princess Bala. Sorry if I'm spoiling it for you. I apologize. But I can't tell you like what happens while they were dancing. I can't tell you what really happens while they were dancing, because you will have to see for yourself. Especially if you already seen this movie, you'll definitely want to see it. You'll definitely want to see it again and introduce it to the newer generation who loves practically DreamWorks anime movie, because aside from Shrek, this is definitely a DreamWorks animated classic, without a doubt it is. And the actors in this movie, such as Woody Allen, who plays Z, I love his voice acting in this, because it really seemed like he was into his role, and definitely played the role of Z really well, and it's nice to see Woody playing this funny, sarcastic, interesting character. But it could have been better if he like brought more emotion to his animated character Z, because I wanted Z to be this really fun, talented character. He was at some parts, but he still kind of was a bit cowardly. But at the end of the movie, he was really brave. He was able to think for himself and do a lot of other stuff. But the actress that played Princess Bala, who is Sharon Carter, I believe, she was good too, and I loved her. She is just prince. The way she portrayed Princess Bala in this movie, she is, she's definitely one tough character, and we all know Weaver, who was played by none other than the legendary actor himself, Sylvester Stallone. He's pretty good too, because I was actually shocked when I heard he was playing this. He was playing this tough ant, because I didn't know he was playing this like huge, really tough ant when I was a little kid. I just really just watched the movie. I didn't really pay no attention to the actors. He's still a good actor, even in animated movies. And the rest of the people, the rest of the actors in this movie, they were good. But some of them really needed to make commitment to their role, because it seemed like they were kind of well bland, and they really need a little bit of work. And I think that's something they really need to work on. The rest of the graphics and everything, although DreamWorks animation was starting out back in the day, some of the animation was a bit sketchy. It needed work some, and I think that's basically something that really needs to get worked on a little bit. If it was up to me, I think they could have done better, like made the animation more lifelike in a way, instead of just making it like really bland animation, in my opinion. Because it would have been nice to see them do like a real world sort of animated thing, because that would have been interesting to see, in my opinion, because it would have been fun and exciting to watch. But I guess since DreamWorks animation was still starting out back in the day, they probably didn't have that much animation to work with, to be honest. So yeah, I guess beggars can be choosers, I guess. Yeah, and all in all, still Antz, I believe it just needed some work. They needed to work on the animation and the voice actors. I think they could have been a whole lot more exciting and more engaged with their roles. And that's the one problem I have with it. And on to the positives and negatives. First off, are the positives. I loved the actors in this movie. Don't get me wrong; they were really good. Some of them did kind of feel like they were bland, in a way. But there are some actors who really were invested in their roles and really showed a lot of commitment. And the story and the theme, another positive, is the story and the theme. It's really exciting to get an average boy meets girl story, and the main theme to this movie is just like, don't follow orders, just think for yourself, don't let anyone else tell you. That's the great theme about this movie. And because you need to think for yourself, don't let other people tell you what you can and can't do. That's something I really do believe is a perfect theme to this movie so much. And one negative, on to the negatives, is there are two actually. I told you before, the DreamWorks animated villain, General Mandible. He really didn't click with me. He was just like one of those psychotic villains that I really didn't enjoy, nor was I invested in. It could have been better if they made like the main villain of this movie more sinister and more evil in a way. And if they did that, I would have been like legit cool with it. But again, DreamWorks Animation was still starting out, so I can understand why. I can understand like why they did what they did, and the animation was a bit bland, but again, it could have been better if they made it like more of a real world slash animated way. But again, still starting out. They were still starting out back in the day, so I can't really judge. So it still would have been interesting to see them do like a real world slash animated way of Antz, because if they did that, it would have been more better. And that's it for the positives and negatives. On to the rating. I give Antz a solid C, because it really was a good movie. There were some parts of the movie I really did laugh at, but they could have at least limited some of the swearing in the movie, because kids still watch the movie and they probably labeled it as an adult movie, I guess. And what else I can tell you? The villain, he needed work again. I'm gonna keep on mentioning this, and I just really enjoyed the main theme of the story. Again, it was just a perfect message for people who needed it, and if people watch this movie, they'll really be able to understand the theme of the movie, along with enjoying the characters as well, and who are played by the actors. Trust me, it's still a good movie to watch. I definitely recommend it to people. And that's it for my movie review. Don't forget to like, comment down below on what you thought of the movie. Subscribe and share with everyone you know. Press the little notification bell at the bottom of my video to get notified when my next movie review is going to be. And be sure to follow me on the Stardust app at Amari106 for my latest movie / trailer reaction. I will see you guys soon. Take care and God bless. Peace.